CaseLoad coaching from Denovo. Full practice management software built for modern law firms. Your practice performance matters.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to a new series of CaseLoad coaching. For anyone joining us for the first time, I'm Grant Yule, Head of Marketing here at Denovo. Firstly, I just wanted to let everyone know that we're going to be doing things a little bit differently this time round, primarily because we reached out to you, our law firm partners, and asked you what you wanted from this new series of coaching sessions. We suggested a new format, focusing on specific work types rather than individual features. The resounding answer to that was yes, so we listened and the new format begins today. So in today's session, Stephen Hill, our legal tech expert and ops director here at Denovo, will walk you through how to use some of Denovo's key software features from the perspective of a criminal lawyer. You will also receive some insight into the ways in which criminal lawyers and their support staff can use CaseLoad, our case management system, in their day-to-day working life. So we know you're all busy people, so we'll get started. Just a quick reminder before we jump into the demonstration that we will have a short Q&A after the demo. So feel free to send us any questions throughout, and we will answer them once the demo has ended. So let's begin. Over to you, Stephen.
Thanks very much, Grant. So the learning objectives that we're going to cover this week for the criminal webinar are matter searching and viewing, so how you would navigate through the software and be able to work on your cases day to day. We'll look at document automation. I'm aware that you write to very specific people as a criminal lawyer, so we'll look at how that document automation can work to make your life easier day to day and make your chargeable time worth the effort. So based on that time tracking and time saving as well, we'll look at time recording within the software, how you can manage the court diary, and we'll take a little preview at creating bundles for court as well as we get towards the end. We're going to start off looking at the matter view in CaseLoad. One of the first things you want to be able to do in CaseLoad is have access to your ongoing cases, and we'll have a look at how you would input information into the system, and then how you can search on that information and gain access to matters to update them quickly and efficiently. One of the first things we kind of recommend in CaseLoad is we have fields in the system which will give you the PFREF for your criminal matter cases, and also you have a drop down option to select the court applicable to this case. So those two can be added, and as you can see there, with consistency of data, we're actually able to very quickly see cases that are ongoing at certain courts with the references. The matter description is quite key as well. We try to make that as accurate as possible so that there's continuity of data in the system. That allows us to be able to search on descriptions and bring up elements of data that you would want to see. For instance, if I'm going to try to find all the cases where there's been an assault taking place, I can select assault from the drop down description search, and it will give me all the cases that are ongoing that have that are tagged as assault. I can clear that description as well and go back to the main view. You are able to filter, so if you have a particular PFREF in mind that you want to search on, you see you can look through those, but if you know that it starts PA, for instance, it will filter the rest and you're able to quickly find the reference that you're looking for. The same with the court drop down as well. You're able to pick which court you want to see. So if you only wanted to see cases in the Glasgow courts, for instance, you'll see we can pick those from the drop down and it'll filter out the rest, and it gives us the view. So we've got 15 cases ongoing in the Glasgow courts. Clearing those will just bring us back to the main view. If we go into a particular matter, so I'm going to select one here, you'll see we've got various options as to what we can do. I'm going to start off at the document production level. What we typically see is you're going to write to 5 various elements in a case. So clients, prison, fiscal, court, and witnesses. So I'm going to demonstrate as we go through what data automation can happen to make your life a lot easier, and the time isn't the time charged isn't great in a lot of these cases. So you want to be able to do these things quickly and not have to be searching for information in paper files or somewhere stuck in a post-it note somewhere. So you can see on the main screen now some details that we're going to pull into document production, but you should only be entering these bits of information one time. So you can see we've got a ref which is created from the client. We've added the PF ref in here against this particular matter, and we've got some client details here. In the analysis, we've got the work type so that we know we can select the drop down court which is applicable to that one. So now that you've done those 2 bits of information, those can then start to pull through to the documents that we're going to look at. Another key element is this: we can add separate data pages. So you can see in this instance we've got the diet dates added to this along with the date of incident. These can be expanded upon, so if you wanted to collect more information, you can add other fields in here and that will populate through those bits of information. So the amount of information you can put in the system and pull through to documents is all available there. So if we look at the document production side of things, I'll show you a couple of ways of being able to create documents depending on the different context. We're going to start with just simply writing to the client. So if we pick the criminal styles, you'll see we've got various options in here. So these would live in the system to be able to pick up the ones that you would want to write to. So you can see there's various options in there. I've selected the template styles based on this work type, and that's given me these drop downs available. As we go through, I'll show you how to search on them, so if you know you're looking for a particular style, you can search on that as well. But in this very first instance, we'll just do a quick letter to client, and we'll choose this one here because it's going to pull in 2 different documents at the one time, which we'll show you on the automation. We can post the time at this stage as well, so if you're looking to do a time recording document, you can post the time. Again, we'll look at that option on a slightly different style template in a second. So this one here, you'll see it's pulled in all the automation that we would want, the information about us as a solicitor, and who they should ask for, along with the details of the person that the letter has been sent to, and that reference that was on the main page is through here as well. So in this instance we're pleading not guilty, so we're sending that information back to the client. You see that it's picking up the court date of the 1st of December. That was the first court date that existed on that data page, so it knows that's the one that it wants to drop in here, so you're not having to go and find that information. So in that instance it's doing a letter to the client, but it's also doing one to the PF office as well. You see it's picked up the DX address for that one. You can have the main normal posting address available in the system as well, so we can add either option as to how you would want to send that letter out. You see it's just pulled in the same information in there along with some other bits of information. So 2 different letters produced at the one time, one to the client advising them of the not guilty plea, and one to the PF office asking for some more information. So I'll do another one just to show a few examples as to what types of letters we would want to do. So in the next instance we're going to write to the client, but we're going to write to the client in prison. So again we'll choose the drop down for criminal styles, and we'll choose client custody letter advising of sentence. So if I pull this one in here and do next and finish, the document's going to be produced again. But this time it should ask me which prison I want to write to, because they exist in the system. So you see here it's pulled up the drop down with all the ones we've got saved in the system. I'll just pick Inverness for an example. So number 8 option. you'll see it's pulled in everything that we'd want from the style template, the client's date of birth, the bit about P&C, the address of the prison that we're writing to, and some details in here. Bear in mind these are basic style templates. These can be added on, so if you needed to add more information in there or update it, then we can update those as well and give you the full automation of any information that we'd want to pull in. If there was more information at the data page level as well, so if you had more drop downs in here that you wanted to add, they could be added in there as well. So the other option I wanted to show on the criminal styles is how to search for styles. So if you were to just click on this box here to find, so if you were to start typing the fiscal, you'll see it's got all the styles associated with fiscal are there in the system. So if you were to choose one with the not guilty plea, for instance, you would just run that again. I'll click the post time option this time just to show you how we would make chargeable entries for time recording when producing a document. So I'm going to produce the document again. It's just going to pull in the information from the client matter, and you'll see it's got the information. So a very similar style letter to before. I'm just going to do a quick word count, so that's 107 words on this one here. So you see it's pulled all that information in there as before. When I close that down, you see I'm now presented with a page of time recording charge. So different from before when we would just finish the wizard and carry on and produce the document. This time it's going to pull in the fee earner of the matter along with some details. So we've got the activity pulled in, the summary based on the description of the letter that we've just done, and it's chargeable. So I was to enter the word count in there. You'll see it's telling me one page, 107 words, and it's giving me the charge in there for £6. So I can then save and close that, and that's me finished. So I produced a letter, sent it to the fiscal, and charged the time on it at the same time. So when all of that's done and you've done some work on the case, if we click on the events view, you're able to see all the details in the system. So all the letters that were being produced, they will all show in here. So you can see all the information in there. If there's multiple attachments, then they would show in the drop down, and this will just let you see all the style information that's been saved against this particular client and matter, date and time stamped, along with descriptions and who it was produced by. You see in this drop down here we've got the created by and assigned to. So if I had produced this letter here and I wanted it to be sent to the fiscal by email, for instance, I could email the event, or I could assign it to someone else. If I wanted to assign it to a secretary, for instance, we'll pick Scott in this instance and click save and exit. Scott's now been assigned this, so it's now in his task list, and he's had an event notification to tell him that the event's been assigned to him to do something with, and that then lives in his task list, as I said, to produce something on that particular document. So you can work that way, where you can produce stuff the opposite way. So the secretary may produce a letter for the lawyer, and then once it's produced, they'll just assign the task or the event to the lawyer to check it over before it gets emailed to the court. If there was an email to be done as well, if you were to click on that, the wording of an email could have been typed out as well by someone before they assigned the entry, so you can see that can just be added in there as well. So when you click save and exit, you see that lives down there. So when we then click on the event to email the event with the attachment, you'll see it picks up any recipients associated with the client or matter in this case, and clicking OK, you'll see we'll bring up the email window with the document attached, signature, and all the reference details in there as well. So that can then be sent to David based on the information that we've just sent there, a copy of the letter that we're sending out. then we just go back to the main view. Document automation, easy for me to say, I wanted to show here was the ability to write to multiple people at the same time. So we click on the other addresses view, you'll see here we've got 3 people listed as witnesses in this particular case. And if we select document production from the main menu, and we're going to select all 3, so we're going to write to all 3 at the same time with a similar style letter. So as we do that, you see the options change based on that context. So we're not producing them as a matter template. On this occasion, we're going to choose the witness pack to send out. So this will automate roughly 100 bits of information from the client file into this document pack. So it's going to produce a document covering 18 pages. So 6 for each person, and you'll see all the information that's pulled through is all the stuff that's shown in bold. So we're asking this witness to appear at court on this date from the data page with the time pulled in there as well. And it's going to give some other information in here. So this one's got a letter, so 6 pages for each person, a letter, citation of witness with all the references pulled in, the option for them to, not the option, but the letter for them to sign and send back in to acknowledge the receipt of this, and then just some other information that would normally go out on a particular case. A lot of expense claims, you can see there the case reference has been added to this, as has the details and all the details from the matter description and who this particular one's against, along with some information. So you can really see the benefit of being able to produce, and there's the next person's there, that amount of data being pulled into the one document, which just allows that to be sent out to these 3 people. But you're only taking a couple of minutes to produce it and send it out. So back at matter level, if we just have a look here, we see we've got the option to do, and we're just going to look a wee bit at some of the time recording options. So based on the charge category and the work type, we can pre-populate a list of time recording entries to be selectable against a particular matter. So you can see the drop down of list here of all the information. So if we were to just charge for a short telephone call, you'll see a similar style window appear as before and allow you to put the time information in there. So if we knew the call was 11:34 to 48, you see that's updated to 14 minutes and 2 units to charge the call. If you wanted to run a timer, you have that option as well. So if we click on run timer, you'll see it's now defaulted to start time is now, and so it allows you to pick the time to run that. That'll just run in the background. You can minimize that if you like and just move it up to the top, so you can see that's still running up there. But I can now go in and have a look at some account details. I can go back to my events and see some of the description of information that's came through. So you can really work the file, look what you need to look at while that timer's running in the background. So once you're done, you would maximise the timer, which brings it back full window. See, it's got me as the fee earner with the activity and the summary. In the summary, we can have pre-populated standard narratives. So if you were to pick one of these, you'll see it drops down the narrative, and they can be as detailed as we need them to be. You can see that one's got a shorter summary with a longer narrative. So we would update the ones that you would need in the system to populate that bits of information. This timer's still running. I'm going to click run timer again to stop it. So it knows that the start time and end time were selected. And we can then click save and close, and that would update that. You'll see there is a second tab on the time entry window for Minisheet, and what that does is it shows me all the time recording charges I've put through for that day. So if I wanted to do a new charge but I wasn't sure when the previous entry was finished, you'll see I'm able to check that from the timesheet here as well, so I can see when the last one finished, so likely when this one would have started if it followed consecutively after that. So that allows you to see what's already on the timesheet without having to go to the main timesheet view. So I'll just click save and close that, and we'll update that as a time entry. So we've covered quite a few things there in terms of the document production and the time entry. The last one I wanted to show on any sort of document automation was the smart event button. So we've seen the criminal witness pack. That was a variation of a smart event because it produced several documents at the one time to 3 different people. What we can do with smart events is have other levels of automation in there. So see, this is producing, it's went through the 4 documents that it's just produced on screen, but it's done those all at the one time. So if I now look at Word, you can see I've got the covering letter with some information. I've got the defence witness questionnaire which has been produced with all the information added to that in terms of the charge details and the date of incident. I've got another letter that is going to the PF office. So this one here has went to the client. This one here is the defence witness questionnaire. This one's going to the PF office because it knows that, because it's got that their PF ref against this matter. And it's just got a final letter, the section 70 letter, which was added on here as well. So you can see the option to have all these documents automated and on the one event. So you're not even having to produce those ones individually. That's all being produced automatically. So on that event there, you've got those letters all being produced. So that criminal form's here. You see the drop down for the multiple attachments that we've just created at the one time, and we can also create a follow-up. So I've decided that we're going to follow up on that event in a week's time, and it's going to check the information to make sure that task is assigned to me, but again that can be assigned to someone else in the firm if that was the procedure and how that is captured. On that event as well, you'll see we've got the time entry button. So if we've produced the event but we want to charge something on that one, we can click on post time. It'll bring up the window and we can pick the activity charge that we want to charge and click post time. So even if you've not done it when producing the document or on the new time entry button, you can retrospectively go into the event and post the time in there as well. Another way of recording time is we've got the apportion time wizard, and this is slightly different from the generic just time one. So I'm going to pick a court in here. So I've got me as the fee, and then I've got the court, and I'm going to just enter some details in here for travelling. So we'll say we left at 9 AM and arrived at 10, and we returned at 3 for 4. And I'll just add some mileage details in here. So we'll say 90 miles, we'll get an elevator, say 60 miles, since we only took an hour. We'll put expenses of £5, and we'll put parking of £2. So this is what you would typically need to apportion time on a matter. So you may do this individually. You post the outbound time, you post the mileage, expenses, parking, and then return. So you're looking at 5 different entries there per matter. Or we click on this, we put the information in here and click on apportionment, and we select the appropriate matter accounts that we want to apportion that over. So I'm going to choose that James Black one and that George Blair one. So we've got two accounts there that we're going to apportion this off. So we're appearing in court against these 2 matters, and I'm going to click on apportion time. So you see what that's done is it given me all the entries I need to go to these 2 matters here, but listed all the charges and units individually. So when I then click on save and close, that's now updated my timesheet. So if I go to the timesheet view and show just my timesheets, you see it's now, I've got an active timesheet which we were looking at today. So if I just maximise that window, we had the ones that we've seen on the mini sheet in there for this morning, so the black and the wood, and then you will see all the information for those 10 entries, so 5 for each client, are now appearing on my timesheet to be posted, and it just saves me the time and effort to be able to add these into the sheet individually, and it's got them all with the different types of chargeable categories as well. And I can see for my day, my units, my overall charge, and my cost. So if I could post that timesheet just now. I can edit the timesheet, so if I need to go back into an entry, you can see I can edit them because it's an active timesheet. You've got full options to do that. I can refresh if other ones have been added, or I can delete. So that one at the top, so if that was an error, I could delete the time entry from there, and you'll see that that's now gone from the view and the units and charges updated. Going back to this view here, you'll see I've got today's active timesheet. If I wanted to view historical timesheets, I would click on show closed and posted, and you'll see all the ones that I've done before. So the last one that I've just posted for last month is shown here with some entries. Nothing available to do in there because they have been posted, so these options remain greyed out. Just on the ones that are active, will they show and allow you to update anything you need to update on the time recording side of things. So if we look at the next thing I want to look at is the court diary management. So if we go to the events view, you can see all the events that are due today or overdue. But if we look at the court diary view, you can see we've got quite a number of entries in for today. That'll happen to be for this client here, who's a pretty busy character. But you can see the courts listed there. If we were to just look at all dates in the court diary, just to show you what the information now looks like, we can see ones that have been completed. So they've got an outcome in the list there. Ones that have still to be updated, so they will show in red for overdue because they've still got details to be added to them. Past ones will show in black and the future ones will show in blue. So all the ones that we know that are coming up will show in this list here. So if we look at the date part, and I'm just going to filter on this month just to give us the best view, because this is what we're going to be working with. You can see, like before in the system, we can filter individually on the particular drop downs. We can search by court, diet or representative on the left here as well. So if we wanted to pick a representative to see what Scott got on this month, you'll see it'll filter out the 3 in there. Clicking on this icon here will clear that view and bring us back to the view we had before. It allows just to see what's upcoming, and if you were to click on one here, so if you were just to pick this one down the bottom, you'll see we've got some details against the court diary entry. We can go back to matter level. We can send this to my calendar, for instance. If I was to click to send that to my calendar, it's now updated my Outlook calendar with that particular upcoming event. I can email or text the client to remind them. So if I was to text client here, you'll see we can pick up the contact number with the details all populated in terms of the court appearance, and we would just click send text. The summary here is to give the event a summary. So when we are then at matter level, we can see that event was sent. So I was just to quickly jump up to matter level there. You'll see the information that was sent to the client with the upcoming court dates listed there. And you can put other bits of information then there in terms of the court number, the diet. You would have options in there as to what the diet types would look like. They would be updated for your system, and you can just save and close, and again it will give you the option to send that to the representative's calendar if it's not already been done. And you can see a preview of the details will show down here as well, and without having to click into each one individually, you'll get a short description largely based on the column headings at the top. And you can pick selectable days as well. So if you're looking to see a particular day, you can select those, and it will show the information for each individual day. If they're empty, it means there's nothing available on that particular day. So we'll jump back to the accounts level, and we'll have a quick look at our bundle docs integration. We won't go over this in too much detail, but I do want to cover the add-in capability of bundle docs, because I know that can be a really useful feature across quite a number of different work types. So if we look in here, I'm just going to show you what this part of the integration looks like, and we're at the stage here where we have all the documents associated with this matter shown on the left. So that's everything that's sitting in this event as a document. So that could be witness statements, correspondence, any kind of information that would already exist. And we've got a default bundle created here. So I've already created one for this matter, and I've added some sections. If I wanted to create a new bundle for this one, I would create a bundle and give it a name, and you'll see it'll be saved against this code. Or I can create a new section in here. So if I wanted to add a further section to that, I can just add one, and that'll update that section there. So very simple case of, to update the documents to each section, you're just selecting those on the left hand side. You'll see we've got the preview panel will activate to show you what the letter is about. So I'm going to just send these 4 to the first section, so for pleadings, and I'm going to click upload. So that's now done, and those 4 are now in that section. If I pick the second section, and I'm just going to pick these ones here just for some examples. So these 6 here I'm now going to send to that section and upload. You'll be very more specific with what options you needed to go to each section. I'll just quickly pick a few for this section and upload. And finally a couple for the last section, but I'll miss out the attendance section here. So these ones here we'll just add there, and that will just upload those really quickly. So if I now open bundle docs, you'll see I just need to authenticate to sign in, and it will now show me all my live bundles. So the one that I've just uploaded documents to is the first option. So I'll click on that, and you'll see everything that we've just put through, whether that be Word documents or PDFs, whatever the file format is. You'll see it's got documents in each section, and what you can now do at this stage is you can reorder. There's a lot of functionality available on the bundle docs side of things, to allow you to change details in here. So we can update that letter name to something else. We can reorder, so if we wanted to move that further up, wanted to move that to that section, you'll see we can update those as well. If we had, there's a few icons at the top here which we can do bits of information to, and there's a lot of bundle docs options in there, so we can add a new section. If we want to, we can upload other files from other areas. So if we needed to have documents on our desktop which we wanted to add, and they're not in the CaseLoad system, they can be added. You just pick the section to add them to and choose the documents, and you can drag and drop as well. So once we've done that, we can click on the generate bundle, and you can largely set up automations in there in terms of what the title page would look like. The description can be changed and updated. You can have annotations, watermarks. There's a lot of different capabilities which we will cover in a full, we'll do a full webinar at some point early next year with bundle docs. So once we've generated that bundle, we can then download it. and we'll just click on that to do so here. So just bear with me. So there it's now coming up. It's just taking a wee second to load. So we've got the title page and we've got the fully indexed bundle. So we can click on each of these. This is OCR capable as well, so you can search through the document for a particular term, and you'll see it'll pick those up as we go through, all the way through the documents. And back at the main section, you can click on different pages, and it'll take you straight to the section that you need to. So these can be generated and printed or saved as a PDF. One of the benefits also is you can have collaboration on the bundle. So if we look at the main view, you can click on that edit icon here, and you've got some information in there in terms of collaboration. So you can have people that can just download, contribute, and you can add their email address in here and click on collaborate, and they will get an invitation from Bundle Docs to be able to go in and add things to the bundle depending on the permission restrictions, update them. You can just really work with that side of things and be able to add things to the bundle for you as well. So a kind of brief overview at the moment as to what the upcoming Bundles Docs integration is going to look like for that one.
Great, thanks for that, Stephen. So we've had one question that has came through, and it's a question that we've been asked on a few occasions, and it's about actually using an iPad in court, which is something I know that I've been actually discussing with a partner of ours quite recently, even as early this week. One of our criminal law partners is now working solely from iPad Pros in the office and in court using a Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pen. And I think one of the key things for that at the moment is really about convenience, having the ability to use the system whilst on the move. It's always been doable, but I think now, especially with the likes of Bundle Docs integrated into the system, having that option in court. Now, it's obviously relying on a strong, a half decent Wi-Fi signal, which I know in the likes of, say, Glasgow Sheriff Court, it can be quite challenging at times. But for all intents and purposes, yes, the system can be used. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Stephen?
No, I mean it's really straightforward. We have the software on cloud, so the portability of iPad, even iPhone, if you can live with the small screen, but the 12 Max might do a job for you. But we do have that option across many devices of being able to access the software now.
Yeah, perfect. That's the only question that we've had in. Hopefully that answered it. If anyone is interested in finding out more about the best way to use the system on other devices, then by all means get in touch and we can help you out with that, no problem at all. So as always, we're available to you anytime, so please feel free to drop Stephen or any of the team a line following the session to ask any additional questions you may have, or arrange a more in-depth demo video meeting to discuss anything caseload related. The session has been recorded. It will be available to watch on our website in the next 24 hours. The link is here, but we'll also send you out an email with the link directly, so you can view that and refer back to it. So that's the end of this week's session. We will be back next week, same time, focusing on how CaseLoad can support family lawyers. So I'd like to thank everyone very much for joining us today. And if family law is a work type your firm focuses on, we hope you'll join us again next week. In the meantime, stay safe and take care.